Hello everyone, I hope you're having a wonderful day. Today we have an NA Friday night event for you. It should be a good one because we have two awesome maps on the Harper's Ferry battlefield. Our first map is the Schoolhouse Ridge and our second map is the Harper's Ferry Graveyard. Both two diverse maps in this battlefield, so it should be very enjoyable. With that being said, our teams for today on the Union, we have the 42nd Pennsylvania, the 10th U.S., 9th Corps, and the Pennsylvania Army, whereas on the Confederacy, we have Hood's Division, 13th Georgia, Shenandoah Valley Regulars, and the 65th Illinois. With that being said, the first half of the first round, that file got corrupted, so we'll be starting halfway through the first round. All you miss up to that point is a couple of counterattacks, but things are still pretty stable, and I tell you, the end of the round is amazing, so you should totally watch it. And with that being said, I hope you enjoy. All right, here we are. We had technical difficulties. Greatly apologize, but they're fixed now. So we're back, taking losses. So while I was fixing this stuff, Corded was watching the battle. So what's really happened since we broke off originally?
Right now, Union's been able to take the point back, but now they're both up taking losses. So now Union looks like they might have just be trying to stay on the point. So once they go breaking, they're ready to go. And you may have seen the effects of having a lot of people on artillery, where I don't think they're shooting quite as often as they need to. Which even then, they would be running through ammo like they seem to already be now.
I'm kind of surprised.
I wish they would run out.
Yeah, for artillery to really be effective, they need to just non-stop shoot. They can't be slow. Especially when you take a lot of people out of the infantry for it. Because artillery is not... Unfortunately, it doesn't do a lot of damage. And you need to make up the most of those shots that you can. So, it looks like 42nd is pushing right. We saw the PA push left into the woods. The rest of the Union team is bunched up here. Confederates are kind of getting bottlenecked here. Pinched, more like it.
Well, those already failing to kill anyone, unfortunately.
No.
There's
Oh, finally, one casualty.
Artillery is good. But, yeah, that's the unfortunate part about artillery. So, it looks cool when their things hit, though. Dang. Those shots missing over.
They're hitting at about the same spot,
Yeah.
which I'm actually not sure if that's a good thing, because
There you go.
once you've killed enough people in the same spot, there's nothing left to kill.
Exactly.
So spreading them out just a little bit. I am a firm believer in artillery volleys. I think they're going to make a much better difference, because having like a fire at will for artillery is just making the Unions move before you can get those secondary shots off.
We can see CSA is most of the time overshooting. Same with Union artillery. Artillery volleys would be very cool if they could also coordinate those well, like do them right before a charge. That would be very useful, which we rarely see.
The most effective way to do artillery. Also, being able to run the guns as I would say having 1 to maybe 2 per cannon. But even 2 is up there for me, especially on this map when they have a lot of cannons to be used.
So 10th U.S. charged out that first Confederate group. The Hood's Division is now charging in here, and they're going to get wiped by this Union force. I think Confederates are just trying to knock the Union down to breaking here. We can see another Confederate force moving in the distance here, way late. If they were trying to charge or coordinate something, this was not well coordinated.
It's the constant habit of attackers just split up. They do this all the time. It's like, oh yeah, we'll put ourselves here, and you guys go around there. We'll do like a big pincer, so it doesn't work. Just death blob it.
So I would have thought the 10th U.S. would have engaged with this Confederate force, but they're going into the woods to deal with a couple of Actually, no, they're not. They're going out into the woods.
They're unaware.
Shooting at these Confederates right as their friendlies, the 42nd, are charging straight into them. Did that even kill anyone?
No, it killed no one.
Bruh! So, bruh, that's really all I can say there. So, U.S. is able to really hold. Confederates are reforming here at Maine.
42nd is very lucky that they won that, even without the 10th US's help.
See, those Confederates
What are they shooting at?
some Confederates were able to make it out. I mean, 42nd PA survived that. Some Confederates were able to make it out, but they're kind of screwed here.
Yeah, this is more out of lines.
That's the funniest thing I've ever.
There's no way he gets out of this alive.
Union hit breaking.
Bet you when he dies, they hit breaking.
You can see a Union Rambo out here. Webb versus Stoked. Webb misses a stab.
Help me!
No. I gotta get back to me. Goodbye.
So Stoked.
Very intense.
It is. Stoked was able to make it away. A little surprising. Webb being a good man and going with his men, making sure he doesn't die out of line or in skirmishing so that his team doesn't go down the last stand. So, Confederates doing the traditional push of pushing down to this corner.
Wait, why is that officer not running back to Maine? He's still standing there. He's just running backwards and forwards. Well, what's the plan here?
Man, he's going to pick up the flag. He's going to be the first officer in War of Rights to pick up the flag.
What is he doing? Why is he standing in the open? Hello?
Officer moment.
He might just be a glorified scout.
Is a fair point. So, Confederates do get a hold of the corner. Union trying to respond and stop this, but
No, they're already there.
they're way
Bad
too
face
late.
and walk away.
They were distracted by those Confederates in the woods, and now these Confederates can get some easy shots. Well, I know easy shots, but they get a good position to get some shots on the Union line here. Confederates have enough time to shoot them down the last stand. So, Corded, what would you do as CSA at this point in the round?
Well, if I was the group on the right, I'd try and push this group that's right in front of them. Because they're either gonna equalize on tickets. It looks like they have just about equal numbers.
Yeah, they
We're
do.
gonna win that charge and they'll be much closer to the last stand.
It's true, especially because you do have these skirmishers over here for the CSA are distracting half the Union team, which is terrible for the Union.
That one actually killed, I think, 3 people.
Yeah.
Congratulations, you've managed to make up as much damage as the average rifleman does in a melee.
We have the European Savvy in here.
I love hearing Savage talk about artillery. I've played artillery a lot since they released it. So I know a little bit, yeah.
Artillery is very hard, though. I mean, you're so far
They
away.
really need to buff it.
They do.
It is difficult, however, this map is such a popular artillery map, and I'm surprised the groups playing it haven't either ranged it out or spent a lot of time practicing it, I guess. They've almost run out of ammo, and I don't think they've done hardly enough damage to justify the amount of people they put on it.
I would agree with that. Like, that shot, I mean, we're almost 30 minutes into the round now. This is including the counterattack time, and they're still hitting short of the point, or shooting over the point. But, oh my goodness, look at that Union line on the this fence here. Perfectly spaced out.
Keep that fire hot, boys.
US and 42nd PA from an absolutely beautiful line.
Oh, they've pulled it back, it seems. That's smart. Good that they didn't just, stay there and let themselves get shot endlessly.
For sure. Confederates kind of forming 3 prongs, more like one major prong and two minor prongs. I'm guessing the 13th Georgia's on our far right here. We've seen them do that a lot. 65th Illinois is probably in the woods, and the rest of the Confederates are on the left. That is canister.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
It's canister that they're using that far away.
Suppression. So this is the 13th with some HD, and it looks like Shenandoah Regulars are here as well, pushing down to flank the Union forces. In the woods, HD, actually 65th is not here, I was wrong. And then the rest of the Confederate team is forming up on this right position here. A very, very good position for the Confederates to hit the Union. Union kind of uniform in an L shape here, right as these Confederates slam into them. 42nd PA pulling off. I don't know why they're pulling off.
If you're afraid of casualties, then you know.
Confederates are
breaking.
But I don't know why you want to pull off the fence there. You should stay up on the fence and engage them in melee, because if you're going to charge them anyway, might as well stay in the fence, not pull off into the open where they can get nice shots on you. 10th US following to finish them off. That is such an overextension of your line. You cannot have that at this point in the game. Very
if you
lucky.
are an attacker, you do not want to run away like that. It's like, realistically, you just want to sit there and try to kill one of them. Don't die, because you see, if they died there by, like, say, Union man shooting them in the back as they're running away, that's out of line. And
Exactly.
why do that whenever you could just stay in skirmishing and die immediately and probably get a kill?
Exactly. So, Union having two groups here. Confederates kind of all bumbled up here, waiting for Union to go to last stand. I don't think Confederates are going to charge till then. They haven't done Confederate artillery almost tinkering. But yeah. We're just waiting for Union to hit last stand, and then we'll probably see a charge. That is my prediction. What do you guys think?
I have a bold prediction. My prediction is that CSA are going to ruin the lead that they have. And, well, Union's going to charge the Madison. And, well, Union's going to hit last stand, but also CSA's going to hit final push at the same time. And they're not, and CSA isn't going to effectively utilize the final push time and bungle it. I think Union's going to win this game.
You think Union's going to win? Wow.
That's my wager. I think Union might win this.
Corded, what do you think?
Well, it's possible that they win it. It really just depends on the ticket difference here. Because if they can get the CSA to a final push about the same time as they get a last stand, then they've got a decent shot. Because CSA already, they've pretty much only got canister left. And that's not going to do them well. That far away. Even if they're all shooting at once.
So yeah, Confederates, the mass of their team is forming up. Is this the 13th that is joining? Oh, but it's 13th. I don't know where 13th is. But regardless, most of CSA is holding in the center. These skirmishers in the woods, if they keep getting killed like that,
Oh, two of them just died.
yeah, that's gonna start narrowing this lead that the Confederates have in tickets. And I don't know why those artillerymen are shooting canister. They should just get infantry at this point.
Right,
If they're shooting
most of them
canister.
Most of them have run out of anything else. Because that counterattack that we've seen pauses that timer, and unless the RD can really make their shots effective, they're just going to be wasting shots that they're going to need for the later game.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if they're using canister at this point, you're probably going to kill more friendlies than anything. Because Confederates are so close to the point right now.
Right.
Push up, boys. Push up, push up.
So, you can hear the
At
Confederates.
this range, at this range, you're not aiming canister. You're just hoping with it. And even then, like, the odds of you getting more than, say, one or two kills is minimal.
Exactly. Union Union shifting. I just seen an officer moving there. Trying to engage. Union hopping up and over, trying to get behind the
Why are they
Confederates
doing
here.
this? I don't think that's a wise idea.
No, it's not. They're
This
putting
CSA
themselves
officer
in
has
the
any competency. Yeah, they're just gonna look left, shoot, now.
They are getting a couple decent kills, though, on that volley. Union going up in front, that doesn't make any sense. That's even dumber than what we just saw with the guys on the left. The CSA is not hitting a lot of shots, though.
No way. They're just gonna. Are they gonna just get away with it?
They are.
That canister shot, I think, actually might have team killed the CSA guy.
I think the US is good here in this spaced out line. As the CSA's reinforcements come in, they're going to get some easy tickets. And also shooting at the CSA that their friendlies aren't going to have an easy time shooting at.
Actually, what the 10th US has done, yeah, it's not terrible if they're getting all these out of lines.
Look how beautiful that line is, too. Like, that's a perfectly spaced out for what I assume is information, too. I don't agree with it because they are out in the open. They can be flanked by two groups right now, but it's a very beautiful line, and they can't get some out of lines. USA is encroaching slowly on the Confederates, and the Confederates are encroaching on the USA. I can't tell. I wasn't over here a moment ago, but close fighting here. Beautiful USA artillery shot. 10th US is advancing.
Oh, what are they doing? And now the position that they're behind, oh, they've got people in the back that could be killed out of line and skirmishing.
Those Union guys that
that
stay
Union
behind
boy
got
got
that
him.
kill. That's huge. And 10th US is pulling back.
Good decision from 10th. Oh, but we have 10th US guys there on the river, not pulling back. Very important. These guys run back now. And run to teammate.
So
Okay, disaster averted.
I don't see why 10th US is wanting to go farther right. Either to make sure that these skirmishers don't flank this whole Union army.
that's probably where they're hoping.
But
to go.
otherwise, they're getting farther away from point.
You want those skirmishers to try to cross the field. You want them to think that they're safe and then move up and shoot them when they're in the open. So they should move it back.
We can kind of see too that the small Confederate skirmish group is holding off a fourth of the Union team, maybe 3/8 of the Union team. But
I think that might actually be a fourth of the CSA team holding them
actually,
here.
that is true. It's probably the 13th and Shenandoah regulars. We saw them do that earlier, but. I'm surprised I've seen, I mean, this is just not as a right now comment, this is the whole match. I haven't seen the Union try to hold that left point. Every time I play Squalls Ridge's Union, we always try to hold that, but I haven't seen it this whole round. It's fascinating. 10th US is readjusting to deal with this skirmisher force.
I think I did say earlier that this Schoolhouse Ridge attacking this left of CSA is a good idea because there's this good divot that they're moving up on, but the 10th US have actually taken it before they can make use of it. It seems.
Good job.
So
This will be
13th
deciding who goes breaking. I mean, final push.
So 13th is engaging. 10th US does have more men. And I think 10th US is going to win that. However, 13th did do a decent amount of casualty till that flag bearer. It dies out of line. But
Now 13th's going to be relegated back to their spawn.
they will be. And then on this side, no one's really moved here. Both sides are still in a very close shootout. Confederates just waiting on the edge to point to move in. So that they can cap and win this game once he hits his last down. So we do see, again, another Union group pushing out into the river to try to get a flanking shots here. Very, very risky, but very, very fortunate that there isn't a lot of Confederates in those woods. If 13th had stayed in those woods there, the U.S. would get slaughtered here. But then again, you wouldn't know if the U.S. would do that.
As the US noticed these guys in the field, oh, they got one of them. Those are out of line tickets. They should be going for these guys in the open. That's our flag down.
Agree with that. So, 10th US, are they 10th US? Are they moving? Yeah, they are. They're slowly moving back down. That would have been an unfortunate timing to hit last stand. As if the 10th US went over there, and then last stand would be terrible timing for the Union. Kind of funny to watch, but was that a team kill?
I think it was.
I just, yeah. So, but I think if the CSA charged, they would knock them in the last stand.
Yeah, I think they would as well.
Yeah,
With
they should charge.
With the out-of-line tickets that PA's been getting and 10th US has been getting, they might be giving themselves a final push.
That is true. I don't know. I mean, right now would have been a perfect, or at least when 10th US got pushed off to the side, that got no kill. When 10th US is all the way over there, CSA could charge now and deal decisive damage. I would charge now with 10th US so far back and with reinforcements coming down the middle here. That Union group right there is about to get flanked by those Confederates coming in from spawn the 13th.
I would at least push up so that they're putting more pressure on that point, so that when the Union sees that point ticking down, they'll have to make a move.
Exactly.
I'm shocked at how long it's taken for either side to get to their last stage.
I agree. We have the PA here, about to be run up on by the 13th and the SB. Union hitting last stand right there. So, for those of you who don't know, if you die after last stand starts, you don't respawn in the game. But if you died right before the last stand starts, you can respawn. So as you can see, there are like 3 Union respawns. So perfect timing. Confederates need to charge right now. They kind of are. They need to charge as a whole team before they hit final push. 10th US is charging in. They're trying to push the Confederates in the last final push here. That's the Union's only hope. That'll move the time to 1:30. It is 1:40.
The rest of the Union gonna need to push them off.
Yeah, the whole Union need to charge there. Because now 10th US is going to get slaughtered. They're not going to be able to get back in. And Confederates are going to be able to defeat the Union by detail.
Right, because CSA, they have their spawns and they have their flags here too. So they will soon outnumber them. It looks like Union's going to be pushing up on them. That is the right move. Forcing them to have to come from their spawn across this open field.
So, Union, I don't know. This is going to be close.
I think it was too late. They should have charged except we saw the 10th US doing it. Now it's an equal battle.
I agree with that. I think US is going to be able to hold off this push for now. 50 seconds remain on the clock. Confederates need to gung-ho to point.
Most of that wave's going to make it, but they're barely going to make it.
It's going to be tight. They have bayonets or they... No, they don't. Some of them have
They're
bayonets.
drugging and going.
This is going to be so close.
Was my prediction right? It seems.
Oh, man. If USA wins this, I think the front
I don't
CSA
think so.
I don't know.
They need to charge.
No, they aren't.
USA,
if USA countercharges, they win.
Like
Union's gonna win.
Going.
What?
Countercharge, we're getting from them. Oh!
Union's gonna win. Wow.
Wow.
That's all I could say. So let's get our thoughts here. Vastol, your thoughts for this round?
What can I say? I'm a tactical genius. I could tell from immediately what was going to happen by the end of the game. No. I don't really know what to say about that game, to be honest. I'm a little bit confused by a lot of the actions of both teams. Too many people in Arty, for a starter. Way too many. If you have 17 people in Arty, you want to fling through all those rounds and get those men back on the front line. Is the worst case. The best case, you you don't want that many on arty in the first place. Same with Union. As we've seen there, Union arty. How many people do you think Union arty killed in that game? 10.
I think they
15?
killed more than the CSA did. I'm being honest. I saw their shots land more than CSA's.
Yeah, CSA was. This is crazy. I wasn't like I had to exit the game because of technical difficulties. Apologies for that. But like, this is how many casualties were in the second half of the game. Not even the first half. So, I just wanted to point that out. Which is crazy to think about.
Yeah, I guess that's all I have to say. Just very confusing and very shocked with the amount of people in arty.
So, Corden, your thoughts for this round?
Yeah, I agree with the artillery. Less is more when you have a lot of cannons to work with, because you definitely need those people on the front lines, especially on Schoolhouse Ridge. Do you remember who won the pub match on Schoolhouse the other day?
I think it was CSA. I don't
Anyway,
remember.
I think it kind of played out like the pub match.
I can
Union
look.
was staying back, and then CSA was quite spread out. And then, when it came down to charges, the CSA wasn't together, and the Union was able to keep retaking a point.
Yeah, for sure. All I can really say is if CSA didn't have all that men on artillery, they probably would have won the game. That's all I can really think of for that. But yeah, with that being said, no technical difficulties. We'll see you in the second round. Here we are with a lovely Harper's Ferry Graveyard. This will be interesting. We saw in the EU event earlier today, they did this map. It was a 35v35, whereas this match, as we can see, is a 95v85. So we'll see the differences with a bigger server. It should be interesting. Corded, what does the CSA usually do on this map?
CSA, I would say, usually likes to... I think it's more about outmaneuvering the Union on this and trying to stack the side that the Union leave alone, I guess. If they leave the left side, kind of lightly defended, that's the point that they're going to try and charge down. There's also the approach on the right side of the hill, where they can kind of distract and pull some Union numbers. That's a way to open up one side or the other. But this is definitely a charging map, so they don't want to spend too much time shooting, because Union will be using their cover, because they're going to be able to stay alive much more than the CSA is. The CSA is going to be wasting time just shooting like they are right now.
Yeah, for sure. I would agree. It's so hard to hit shots on the stone wall. I mean, you don't know when you hit people. It's so hard to know. So I would agree with the charging thing. Vastol, you played this as Union a decent amount of times. What is the Union strategy to win this map?
Typically, for the right side for Union, it's have a good contingent just holding that corner. CSA will always have a horrendously difficult time trying to take that side whenever you have a good chunk of your team just sitting there on that stone wall with duck and ball. CSA just get shredded. So having a presence there just deters that repeatedly. You never see CSA in proper organized play of large numbers want to push that side. As for this left side, Union are doing what you typically see, though I strongly disagree with the skirmishers that they had out there. Letting the CSA move up and try to make pushes is probably the best thing. Let them fail at pushes, especially using this that picket fence there. Making use of that picket fence to disrupt the CSA charges when you have that stone wall is always a good thing.
Yeah, for sure. So, thank you guys for that little pre-game, even though we're in the middle of the game. So, CSA moving up on the right side here. They do have a regiment holding in these rocks. I'm guessing they're just skirmishing. You also see a skirmisher Confederate group on this left side, the Hood's division taking shots. But really, no aggression from the CSA team right now. They're very spread out too, so they're in no position to charge out this Union team effectively. We do have Confederate artillery. You have one battery all the way up there, and then you have another battery all the way over there. but it's so far away. It's so hard to hit the Union. We can often see Confederate artillery hitting that exact spot. However, it rarely gets kills because they don't hit exactly down this wall here. And even if they do, they at most will get 1 kill. So,
They need to be aiming at that road. As
exactly.
close to that stone wall as they can. And they've put, again, a lot of people on artillery. They've got 15 they could really use as the charge. Because, at least on the manly side, there's not many of those guns that are able to hit that spot. You're not seeing it. But they are pushing a gun to the left side of berms. And looks like they might put maybe 1 more facing it. And
What more gun?
God knows why they want to go up to the French battery. 'Cause that's even harder shots to hit, much less see.
If we look from this battery's position, like, look at that. It's so. I mean, I'm zoomed in right now, and I can't see it. If you're out
Yeah,
here,
that's-
it's so hard to see.
That's definitely going to be a coordination with infantry trying to spot shots for them, but that's not something you want to rely on.
Exactly, it can be very difficult. And if we have this battery here, which does have a better view, that one cannon shot we were talking about earlier, that's what we were talking about. They do have nice views, however, they do hit a little too far left. We can see that Confederate group we saw on the right pushing forward now, charging out on the Union, sorry for the frame drop.
Back down, back down.
So they did a rising volley, but Union was ready and they got slaughtered. See their bodies rolling down the hill.
Jesus.
One thing you do see on the point is the Union already kind of stacking these caissons up. Guys trying to block this road off, and also
Oh, that's a
also
clever idea.
and also protecting the people that would be sitting behind this wall, so they can't be shot by the people that go to the far right.
That is just Archangel, you're the man. Oh, I started to move indeed. But I've never seen that before, and that's not a bad idea. War of Rights innovation at its finest.
We have a value for artillery players, moving caissons to block stuff. No.
Artillery is useful. James by 9.
Artillery can be useful.
I mean, I will not lie. It can be useful, especially if it manages to, get a lot of kills in a very short time frame. Let's say you have to go in for a charge, and those guys manage to kill, say, 15 on the point in one big volley. That's really good because you've disorganized them and you've chipped away at a big part of their number before your main guys are going in. And I've seen it happen before, and it has swayed cap points. But in my experience, I've only had that happen twice in an event.
Yeah, it's
And
really difficult to find a battery that will coordinate with the rest of the regiments, because a lot of times you'll see 1 or 2 people from each regiment taking the cannon and trying to get them to communicate with each other, and the officers that are running the other regiments. It just doesn't happen enough.
So Confederates charging in onto this abandoned Union left flank. What I meant by abandoned is they had no guys on the stone wall. You could see the rest of the Union coming up onto the stone wall to flank the Confederate forts. Confederates are going to get smushed, but I like the idea that the Confederates are charging. Confederates are probably going to win on the stone wall here. And more Confederates are pouring in from the bottom here. Actually, Union's winning on that stone wall because they got more reinforcements coming in.
Yeah, we got everyone on that right side shifting over left.
Exactly.
And we got more CSA coming in from the... Okay, no. These guys flooding in now, they're just giving them a bit more kills. That's not great for CSA.
Yeah, CSA is getting pushing really far out.
Yep,
Confederates
there you
hitting
see it.
engage, yeah. I don't know if you saw during the charge, an artillery shot bounced off the ground and exploded up there. You still see the smoke there. But, I mean, the 14 men that are on CSA artillery could have changed that melee. I mean, there's a lot of Union left, but the 14 men is 14 men, and that's huge. So, while artillery is in a very cool position on this map, I do not believe it is effective on this map. Even if you're hitting shots every single time, you got to time that up with the charging group, and they didn't try to time that up. Time that up.
I do feel a little bit bad for those guys that ended up dying in skirmishing and moving up that hill because, you know, they obviously didn't see all of that Union group moving because, you know, the hill was in the way. So they do just get up to the fence and then see a whole Union line pushing them. So you can't really blame them for dying and skirmishing too much.
That is true. Confederates need to be aggressive. They need to keep up. I mean, they are losing tickets. But then again, here's the thing, right? You really only have two options on this map. Charging or sitting back and shooting. I guess that's with most maps. But especially for this map. You sit
Look
back
at
and
that
shoot.
Union line there.
He's got... Oh, I'm not surprised, Mr. Mozilla. I know this man very well. That is his trademark. So, with that being said, CSA needs to charge. Because if you're sitting and shooting like this, it's very hard to kill people on this map. And if you're killing someone, it's in formation. So, you're not gonna... I mean, we're 10, 11 minutes into this match and Union's still not engaged, even with the charge. Alright, they're at battle ready, even with the charge. So sitting and shooting does not work. You need to charge. Meaning no men on artillery, and if you're going to have men on artillery, you got to coordinate that, and they're not coordinating it. So.
I think what
Yeah,
a
I
lot of
agree
people,
completely.
a lot of regiments will do is try and set up covering fire as one unit is charging, and I think a lot of times they overestimate the effect that their suppression is having, because your other group is charging people that are in formation, so they're hardly going to be taking much suppression at all, and unless you're volley, you're only going to be suppressing a couple people at a time.
I agree. I mean, when you're in game and you get shot at and you're in skirmishing and you walk in formation, your screen changes. It's kind of cool to see for the first time. But let's quickly look at the U.S. defense. We have the PA on the left side. I know it's in the middle of the game, but these prize have kept the same positions the whole game. So we saw PA on the left. We also saw 10th U.S. towards the middle. 42nd PA to their right, and 9th Corps holding the extreme right of this Union defense. We saw. I want to see how effective Union volleys are. This just show how hard it is to hit shots on this, or even a CSA volley. Union canister probably suppressing the heck out of Confederates here. When is Union volley?
Back down.
Down. So, Confederates are having some fun, but you saw that Union volley hit no one. Confederates are about to volley. Let's see how much they hit. Like, look at this. Like, they volley. Everyone's crouching. Volleying does not work on Harper's Ferry Graveyard. Union artillery, unfortunately, does not work unless they're charging. Which, they should have the artillery focus right there, in my opinion. We do have Confederates beginning to push up again. They're pushing up, but they aren't going any further. I don't know why they're holding here. Union can have ample time to react to this.
That's a lot of Union that we see on that left side still anyway.
I'm curious as to the positioning that the Union artillery has put their cannons. Because what I would do is try, say this right side. You have this 12-pounder. I'd try and get it into the road as much as possible, and along that stone wall, because then you're preventing the CSA from wanting to go in that street. So they either have two options: but going farther down into this side of the hill, which is quite difficult to maneuver, or they have to go into the graveyard, and they're going to be perfect shots for the Union that's on that stone wall. Same goes for the left side.
So we do have the 5th Texas charging in by themselves. More HD following, rest of HD following. Hopefully 13th will follow, but here we go. A lot of Confederates need to charge. They can't sit here and wait because Union's going to overwhelm them in a moment through the graveyard. You can see the rest of the Union coming in. Union hitting engaged, but that's not going to matter after this charge because Confederates are so behind in tickets.
I wouldn't be surprised if they hit taking losses.
I agree. If not during this charge, within the next couple of minutes after this charge, they will.
Okay, this is a serious melee now.
Yeah,
Oh,
Union
never mind. All those
overwhelming.
guys from CSA pulled back. They didn't.
You never see Union guys this far out on this map.
That's 3 CSA flags lost there.
Thank goodness this is a small map, so CSA flags don't matter. We just saw a CSA officer get Rambo'd and die. What a way to go. So Union is holding again. I mean, the CSA team did not charge in together. Let's look at numbers here. So Confederates have 76 on infantry, and Union has 76. So it's dead
74.
even. It's dead even. However, the Confederates did not charge together. And when the Confederates did charge, they stopped at the end here. They need to keep going and destroy those guys while they were there, and then turn to that Union reinforcements coming in. That's how you got to charge here. You can't stop at the end here and then get pinched by 2 groups. You need to charge the one group out and then go through and charge the other group. You have this, is this Mosul? It is. You got a flag kill.
To the CSA's detriment, though, is that picket fence really does disorganize their charge if they try to jump over. They still have to do it. They didn't, but that picket fence that the Union was sitting behind really does help them disorganize the CSA even more.
For sure, for sure. It gives the Union an extra layer of defense.
You see PA and 10th US going up the CSA's right side. Right where they like to push up. Try and get some flanking shots into them.
I don't know why they're pushing forward here. It's allowing the Confederates to possibly defeat them in detail, which is what you do not want right now when you're ahead on tickets like this.
Yep, that's 3 people dead from that those shots.
So HD taking pop shots. PA is still holding up here. 10th US is falling back. Confederates.
CSA artillery is on the ball. Oh, yeah, here we have it.
I like this. Even if they are losing, I like this a lot better than sitting and shooting. They need to full send. Full send.
Oh no, they're getting cold feet.
I don't know if they're waiting for their friendlies. But now, actually, they're waiting for the Union to draw out. And now they're engaging with them in the graveyard. Confederates not hitting a lot of guys, though. Confederate artillery getting team kills, but killing some Union. And Union's going to lose, at least on this first wave. Confederates are going to take them off.
That's very unfortunate for Union. They should not have done that.
Confederates are charging on the left side as well. So this is a mass charge. If Confederates don't break Union here, I don't think they ever will. They need to charge before Union respawns get in there. It's Confederate charge on the
guys on the
left
right doing nothing.
They're taking shots at this one man. Well, they got him. Confederate artillery actually getting some kills in the road. Just like Ford had said earlier. So Union is getting respawns. They're going back to their positions. Confederates are getting respawns too. Union massing up to hold this corner position. Emerson charging in and getting killed. Union sending a lot of, like, there's guys coming in slowly. 10th US charging out. They're all charging in alone, though.
I don't know why we're doing that.
They're dying out of line in skirmishing, and that's going to knock them down to taking losses here.
Yeah, this is getting closer now for CSA. They're getting closer in tickets.
They are. Because the problem is, Union's charging in one by one.
No, don't charge him more! What are you doing? You're skirmishing. Okay.
They need to charge in together. I'm fine with charging, but no. And CSA artillery's hitting shots.
I mean, they've won that, but at what cost?
Wow.
Maybe one out of line there, that was the one who died before him was still had the grace period of skirmishing.
CSA just needs to keep charging in, because then these Union Rambos are going to die like this. Like, look at that. Confederates are now pouring in on both sides. Confederate artillery doing wonders. I mean, that's probably not a lot of kills, but at least they're getting kills. And suppressing the Union forces there.
What would canister be like at this range?
No.
It would actually be pretty good, I think.
Canister? You think canister would be effective from this longer range?
Oh, from the CSA, no. From the Union, if they had a cannon right here, very nice.
Oh, yeah. I would agree.
Because now they've got two cannons in the center, and they're not gonna... They're very unlikely to hit behind that stone wall.
So, Union is going to lose for one reason. And it's right here.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness. The Union is just trickling guys in here. They're sacrificing men to the CSA.
Right now, if all CSA pushes in, they will win that point.
They will. Union artillery, I don't know where that hit. Yeah, Confederates need to push on all sides. They can't, I mean, they could just keep sitting back because Union keeps trickling out. I want to check this left side quickly because we've seen them charge a couple times. Not go anywhere, of course. It's really 13th GA. They are distracting a decent Union force here.
Okay. Well, there's and there's a team killer there. The officers that were there were shooting very far away with their pistols, and don't think they would need to do that because it's pretty inaccurate that range, and you really need those shots to count, especially when they were outnumbered.
There we have it breaking.
That right there is gonna Union lost this game because of all those people trickling in and getting killed. Like, that's something you probably won't notice on the ground. Unless you're one of those people. But but that's why Union is going to lose this game. I mean, Union could still win. This is insane. But
the guys on the right for Union must be shaking their heads, scratching their heads, I mean, but like, how are we at breaking?
exactly. Confederates should just charge. This is turning into the last game again. In a sense.
There's no way CSA can lose this. They've now got the majority of tickets, and they should just bully their way into them hitting a breaking and Union hitting last stand.
Yeah, they need to push up to where they were. Like, push up right there. That's where they need to push up to, and then Union will just start feeding them out of liners.
Yeah, I think they definitely have enough people to start taking that point down. Maybe not enough to keep it going down from a Union attack. They can definitely take enough tickets off of them that it'll be worth it to get to the last stand.
So we just saw a Union volley at what I presume are those Confederates, but they're barely getting any kills. Volleying sucks for both sides on this map.
I hope they're not falling into the common well, I wouldn't say misconception, but it kind of is, in that, oh, we got them to breaking, let's sit here and shoot at each other until we get them to the last stand. You're just wasting, you know, the ticket advantage that you have. With, oh, there we have it. They are breaking now.
Yeah, they are. Confederates are charging now that they hit breaking.
Good.
Union volleying at the worst possible time.
Yeah, you do have to be careful about when you choose to volley, especially against seasoned veterans and leaders, because they know that once you volley, you don't have shots. If you have shots, then you've got a major advantage over them, even if they've got cover.
So Confederates are holding this corner, and we do see Union again charging them out, which is going to get skirmishing on our lines here for the Union. A lot of that volley just completely missed from the Union. Yeah, they should not have shot because now they don't have shots, and Confederates might have some shots, and that's going to really even out this fight.
Now you can see this Confederate group on the right side coming down the hill. They've got great flanking shots.
We do have that Confederate force moving in. However, they're
Unless you
all alone
unnoticed.
and they're getting.
That was the poor decision. They should have went in to try and relieve their guys to the left.
Yeah, I would agree. So Confederates did lose. Come on,
No.
there you go.
There we go.
Oh my goodness, that was embarrassing. Almost embarrassing for the CSA. Kind of is already. But regardless, Union knocked the Confederates to breaking. I'm intrigued to see who's ahead. I still think Confederates are ahead by a decent portion because the USA did trickle guys out again. Not as bad as we saw earlier, but
Even when his team is so close to breaking, he takes up position.
it's the Mozilla way. It must be done. So, Confederates here are mass bulging here on the right. Never mind, that's just the 13th. It kind of looked like it from far away. But they are gathering up on this right side. I hope they push as soon as they get formed up. Shooting down isn't going to work on this map. It'll be a little boring too. But I don't play CSA much. Corded, what do you think the CSA should do here?
Charge.
There we go.
They know they're up on tickets, so there's no point not to really. They just gotta pick a side.
I agree. Do you reckon they go left or right with the Union positions right now?
What they got right now, I'd say probably right, because they're very spread out, as far as I can tell. They'll be getting some good tickets.
Indeed.
And even if that group, the Union group that's on their right, comes back to the center, the CSA will have that stone wall.
So 13th is pushing out to the right here. I love the out of bounds thing. But 13th pushing up into those rocks. They are engaging with the 10th US doing some rising, not really rising volleys, but running forward, shooting and batting back, hit and run tactics. You know, it's Confederate artillery getting hits. That one was short, but Confederate artillery doing a lot better than what I've historically seen Confederate artillery do on this map. So, applause to that.
Oh, I saw Archangel about to shoot the gun and he got capped.
Oh,
Do have this cannon on the left side. For me, it's a little too close to that wall for comfort. Might snag the hitbox of that wall. Same as well, if you're using canister, I think each pellet can only go through 2 people. So
Ah, the pebbles, yes.
I would tilt it a little more to the left, or have it shifted more to the left.
the one
that-
Riley is on.
Yeah, because the CSA isn't going to come down in that nice line, so having that spread out and having each canister pellet hitting as much as possible, making each one count. Because I don't know if it's the case anymore, but I
So
don't think they'll go
Oh, here
shoot
they
an
come.
infinite amount of people.
we're gonna see how effective this arty position is in a moment. Confederates are beginning to charge.
Oh, well, it wasn't going canister.
Yeah, that was a beautiful shot. I was zoomed in. I got some of it, but that worked out well. That definitely deterred this charge a little bit. Confederates are going to be outnumbered, especially because their team is spread out here. We could see those skirmishers on the bottom now moving into assist. Union hit last. Yeah, there they go. Union at last stand. So Union does get some respawns, but not a whole lot. Confederates. Confederates.
Oh, but lost the charge.
They did, but they did knock on the last stand, which is huge. So now no Union can respawn after that last stand started. However, Confederates need to be a little wary of them getting out of lines because they will be close to final push. But a charge together with everyone would be key. Confederate artillery is going to have fun right now. Oh, we have Wubnub here.
Oh, hello, Mr. Rebel.
Why are you taking your bayonet off?
Alright, you want to sponge?
Nice one, gamer.
Good.
Here he is! Wubnub's come back from the grave!
I got his ass. He's bad. Can't even swing the sword, man.
What was he trying to do?
I don't know. So, Riley's getting his reload there. I don't blame him. That was a beautiful shot. Confederate artillery. Oh, crap. Okay. Confederates just need to charge. Charge. Don't even wait. Go, 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 go.
No hole.
Stop shooting, please.
They need to get. They need to go now.
Did you go yesterday?
Like, ever since the final push started, they could have been engaging with the Union right now, trying to knock them down. You need to keep charging, because even if you die out of line, your tickets don't matter. You have infinite tickets on final push, you just have a limited time. You need to push forward like the 13th is doing here, and knocking them down, because you can respawn and cause an overtime to happen.
Here they come.
There we go. So, Confederates are going to get control of this corner position. Union on the right is volleying so early. They don't have shots now charging into the whole CSA team that does have their shots. That's just poor planning. CSA's got this.
Yeah. That's a real shame. The fact that they wasted those precious 30 seconds there and now gain the benefit of it by waiting for those reloads and, Union just wasting theirs.
Yeah, I mean, the thing that killed them was all the Union trickling in there one by one by one by one in the middle charge. That is why the Union lost this game. Union was ahead, but they did that. I don't think it was on purpose, but everyone that went in caused their team to lose. But look at that artillery casing. That flips right here. That's kind of funny. But yeah, that's it. Vastol, your thoughts?
Yeah, Union really lost that game in the middle there just by sacrificing themselves essentially. Nothing else to say bar pretty good CSA play. Most of the time they were pretty aggressive. There were times, of course, as we've seen, that they decided to sit there a bit and try to volley, which, no, don't do that. But otherwise, I'd give the CSA at least a C, which is a passing grade.
All right, thank you. Corded, your thoughts?
I think Union, for the most part, played it really well. Of course, just, save for the time that they were just trickling people into CSA that was halfway in the graveyard, which is just kind of unfathomable. CSA, I think, again, they put too many people on artillery that they could have really used for some of those charges. Because if they had those people that were on artillery that could help the people that were trying to charge that left side, they would have a much better time trying to encase the Union on both sides.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Confederates would have had a lot better of a chance if they didn't have all those guys in artillery, but they still won at the end of the day. Confederates really didn't do anything special. That was Union's game to lose, and they lost. So, well done, the Confederates, for doing what they needed to do. Good 2 matches. And with that being said, we'll see you guys in the post-game interview. Here we are with the post-game interview. We had a fun NA Friday night event. The first map was on Schoolhouse Ridge. The Union came in clutch and won at the very last couple seconds of the game while in last stand. And then on second round, we had Harper's Ferry Graveyard, where the Union was doing a decisive job, but then had a lot of Rambos in the middle charge that, what I think, caused them to lose. So we have a post-game interview to talk about strategy and more with a lot of the leaders of tonight. So we're going to go through and introduce everyone, starting with the Union players tonight. Starting with the Union, we have Gustav.
Hi, I'm Gustav. I'm cool.
All right. Thank you. Next, we have Ninja.
Ninja from PA, here in Abu.
Thank you. Next, we have Whisper.
Whisper, Corporal from the 9th Corps.
Thank you. And then we have BrutishVirus.
Yo, what's up, boys? This is BrutishVirus coming at you for the 9th Corps.
And then, last but not least, we have Tommy.
Corporal 51st Pennsylvania, subunit of the glorious 9th Corps.
Sweet. So those are our USA representatives. Now representing us from the CSA tonight, we have that one guy.
Hey, I'm the captain of one of the captains of the 13th Georgia.
Thank you. Next, we have Rolo.
Hey guys, I am the other captain for the 13th Georgia, commander of the infantry.
Sweet. So also from the CSA, we have Shanks.
I'm Shanks. I'm a minority for his division.
So yeah, with our announcer team tonight, we have myself as Guardian Eagle. We also have Corded.
Hey, I'm Corded. I'm a captain in 6th Louisiana, part of 2nd Corps.
And then our other announcer tonight was Vastol.
Hello.
All right, cool. Thank you all for introducing yourselves. With that being said, let's start with the first round on Schoolhouse Ridge. CSA was attacking. They did lose the round, but we're going to start with them any race. CSA, what was your strategy going into the round, and how did you react to the ever-changing battlefield?
So our strat going into it was hood. We were gonna do a huge, massive push to the right, control the tree of life. It's like a tree that's just randomly in the middle, next to a corner, snake fence, and then kind of be like a piston moving in and out. That's what Hoods was gonna do. And then the other regiments, 13th Georgia, 65th Illinois, and forget what Shenandoah sharpshooters were gonna be on the left, kind of being in skirmish formation in the forest, moving in and out. And yeah, that's kind of our whole strat. The right side we did hold actually pretty well. Hood's division, I don't know how they were on point, and they were just like they were on that road, just getting shot in the living heck, but they were still there. I guess that comes with numbers. But yeah, the left side, I wasn't leading, but my other captain Rolo was. So I'll let him talk about our strat and what he was thinking.
Yeah, so the 13th on the left side, we were kind of just coming in behind the Yankees. So every time the Yankees would push towards point to engage Hoods, us and the other guys, we would push in behind them. And it was kind of successful. We did get wiped a couple of times, but we did manage to take usually at least a regiment or two of Yankees with us every time. And it knocked the Yankees down in the stages quite fast. Unfortunately, the Yankees just managed to recapture point a couple of times and recover their tickets. And then I feel like right at the end, we just I was honestly really confident in the victory. It was just that final push was just, the timer was so short. I just really was not expecting it to be, just over a minute for that final push. And I think that was the Yankees just managed to steal it from us.
All right. Any of you from the artillery, Shanks?
Basically, we were just trying to pound them to support our infantry and make their charges a little bit easier whenever they were going to go engage with the Union.
All right, cool. Now we'll move on to the USA, who was defending. What was your guys' strategy going into the round, and how did you react to the ever-changing battlefield?
Somebody?
From what I understood, our overall strategy from coordination was to play it slow at the beginning and just slowly kind of squeeze the Rebs off a point, bleed them through with tickets. That didn't exactly end up being what happened. We ended up playing a lot more aggressive. Our unit, 51st Pennsylvania, we didn't have very high numbers tonight, so we were kept bouncing back and forth around the field, just really reinforcing wherever needed about 10 extra rifles.
That was the idea in Cord, was to just sit back and kind of turtle over to the Union right-hand side and let them cap point and use the swung ticket advantage after they cap to kill them and then recap. So it took us 2 charges the first time, but that took a lot of their tickets down while they're in defending. And then we take it back, and we had a good ticket lead for basically the entire round. So we just played more aggressively.
Any other comments from the Union?
My regiment, Ninth New York, was farthest right of the Union line, just volleying straight into point most of the game. I think we did some damage.
Very well played from the Rebs, by the way. That was a close one.
Yeah, it was nice that it was real close. It was good that we were able to rally the troops and get them actually off of point and push them towards the CSA main spawn at the end, because if we were to let them get back onto point, then they would start in overtime, and that would be very bad for us on last stand. So it was actually super important that we did that.
Yeah, whoever was on that point at the end there, that was just a fantastic hold. Like, just fantastic.
I will say this: the Rev already had like impeccable aim.
They were
Yeah,
really
you,
good.
yeah,
Thank
y'all messed us up.
I'm
On
not
both
sure I've
maps,
ever
really.
died from Artie that many times before.
Same.
I died a lot tonight.
Yeah, that second schoolhouse or graveyard especially, I died like 20 times tonight.
Dude, I died 8 times alone. I'm on attacking, but I died 8 times. Yeah.
All right.
That was a lot of fun, though.
Indeed, I would agree, especially from the overview. I was very surprised Union won, especially with early cap, because usually that heavily favors the attackers.
Yeah.
For
It
sure.
does if the Union just sits back and like does a shootout, but we actually got into them with melee 2 full times. We almost wiped them the first time, and then we did full wipe them the second time. And when they own the point, they're defenders, so they have less tickets. So that swung it pretty good in our favor by getting 2 full charges as the attackers.
So, with that being said, let us move on to the second round now. So, Harper's Ferry, Graveyard, CSA was attacking. We'll start with them. What was your guys' strategy to the round, and how did you react to the ever-changing battlefield?
So our main strat was to have just a small group on the left, Hood's kind of more in the middle right, and then us 13th all the way down by the road on there, ready to flank and move, and just kind of move in like a swinging door in that way. But as the battle went on, Union kept putting down skirmishers. I didn't know this at the time, but they put skirmishers all the way down to the forest, to the low road, so they could shoot us in the back on those rocks where there's like no protection. But we kept going, kept flanking. Finally, I told, when this is kind of from my perspective, Hood's division to go full right, full send, everybody they had, and then 65th and then 13th to kind of go left, kind of surprise them a little bit, just kind of shake things up. Because from my perspective, Union was kind of more in the middle. They were adapting quickly. It was amazing how you guys kept coming one side to the other, and that's what you kind of do on Harper's. But you guys freaking did amazingly. I executed it to perfection, I thought. But towards the end, we finally just whittled you guys down enough to last stand. That's how we won it.
That had to be Rambos because we were so far ahead the entire time.
So
Until
during one of the middle charges, Union kept trickling. So the CSA wouldn't charge all in to the Union. They would hold on the cornerstone wall. And Union kept trickling in guys over and over again, probably for a good 2-3 minutes. We kept seeing people trickle in and die.
That had to be it, because we went from taking losses to breaking in about 3 minutes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was insane.
It could have been because maybe we already won the first map and guys were a little cocky because we were so far ahead on tickets. Or it could have just been, disorganized, trickling in, like you say. It's probably what it was if you were watching it. It had to be out of liners because it was so fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say Ninja. We did find the 13th pushed on the right at one point, and we did find quite a lot of Rambos and just like the bushes and stuff, just trying to take pot shots at the stone wall.
Yeah.
So there was probably quite a lot of out-of-line tickets for the Union, but I just want to reiterate what that one guy said. You guys did so well, kind of moving left to right, holding every time we charged, that we kind of had to mix it up because your coordination was on point.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Actually, you go first.
Like Knife to York was moving back and forth from left to right constantly, but yeah, it's good to hear that it was actually effective.
Yeah, we always felt like we had good. We were far left. We had good backup the whole time. I actually feel like from a Union side that we played the second map way better than we played the first map. Until that point, we just happened to win the first one and lose the second one. Right until we got to breaking, we played that, like you said, like literally perfectly. It was really good, and still fun even though we lost.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. I thought we played the second map really well. Ninth Corps was kind of holding down the right flank. We pushed a small skirmish force across the road into those rocks, and we spent most of the game just pouring it in down the road, into the bushes down the road, and right across the graveyard. That and manically shifting left and right. Um, Spent a lot of the game in transit from one side to the other. Just because we kept having to shift because the Revs, we never really knew where they were going to hit us. Um, but from the Union standpoint, that's a pretty straightforward map. You just hold and don't let them cap. I just think we kind of let it get away from us towards the end of the game.
Yeah, I was a part of that small skirmishing force on the other side of the road, and I saw one of the officers leading a line coming towards the right side, and we'd always shoot the officer down first before anybody else noticed that we were over there. I'm not sure who was the officer, but I felt bad for him every time he led that line.
That was me, a-hole.
Dude, we got one of those once, and it was absolutely hilarious.
I'm sitting there running, and I like see you guys, and I'm telling my guys, "Get the Rambo, he's gonna kill me." I'd fall, and I'm just like, "Crap!" I died 4 times to you guys. It was just insane. I charged and I die. I'm just like, "Crap!" I'm stuck on the loading screen.
2 of those times was from me.
If it helps, one of your guys' snipers just absolutely domed our regimental adjutant right in the head. So
Yeah, I got sniped a few times too, standing behind the stone wall on the right side.
Yeah, there's nowhere really you can stand that is safe from Artie because from Frenchie, that's covering the left side from the CSA point of view, and then Manley's battery that's covering the right side.
So the only question I did have was for artillery. So in terms of infantry, there were even numbers. CSA had 14 on artillery. Union were playing basically a perfect game up until they were trickling in Rambos. Do you think that having so many men on artillery could have been a detriment to CSA charges throughout the game? Because that's one thing I was possibly thinking. I don't know. Artillery wasn't really effective till the end of the game, and even then they would hit a shot and maybe get 3 or 4 kills.
Potentially, but I do think that a couple more guys wouldn't mean that much more than loading the guns faster. You'd probably maybe like 4 more kills in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, and I'm the Artie officer for 13th, and that's one of my favorite maps to play on Artie, especially on the French, because if Artie's on point, we can hit almost all the way. We could possibly hit their spawn. That's kind of a moral issue. We don't, but we can decimate that whole stone wall because it's plain as day. And sometimes shots kind of fall, sometimes they don't. I know for French, we're shooting over 700, almost 800 yards. And even with binos, it's hard to even see like the stone wall. So you have to have a very good experienced officer to see that far at least. And hoods, you guys freaking just there was a couple shots where it was close to us, and I know you had some Union right above us. Your shots were really nice and scalpeled.
I would agree.
If you're good enough to wipe an entire side and then blast them in their main spawn with Artie, you should go right ahead and do that. You should not have any kind of moral problem with that, in my opinion.
Yeah, on the first map, our arty was almost useless because of how much they were getting pounded. On the graveyard map, our arty felt like they were such a threat on the first time we played you guys that you guys were just hammering them to keeping the arty away from the wall until finally you decided to switch to the wall.
It's we ran out of ammo on that map actually, which is pretty rare to do.
Holy crap!
Yeah, there was
that
so
was
much
a
canister.
godsend for us.
They are pounded that left side. That was insane.
I felt like Artie was right on top of us the entire time, both maps. That's how it felt. So
completely agree. Reb artillery was super effective on both maps, especially the 9th Corps holding down the right. I felt like most of our casualties were just coming from just getting sniped by artillery. So
I feel like also we had great Artie on Schoolhouse.
Yes,
I saw
I agree.
some really nice
we
hits
did.
on it. So
One
it was
thing,
them lads.
I might have that bias too against artillery because from up top it's like, oh, there's only 3 or 4 kills, but then again, it suppresses people a lot, and we don't notice that from above. So there might be that as well that I'm not thinking
It's
about.
also awesome. It causes lines to shift. They don't necessarily know how many died, on ground level. It could just be like, holy shit, Artie just hit us right here. We have to move. Like, could just be like a zoning thing.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's a big factor. It's like, as an officer, you're always thinking about, even if you're not under attack, it's always the threat of it. It's always like, hey, we've been standing here for 2 minutes. The RD's like really, aiming at us. It's gonna hit us any second. We need to move. You're like having extra things to think about
I
because
can't
it's
just sit there and risk losing just one or maybe the whole line.
Definitely.
So with all that out of the way, Vastol or Corda, did you guys have any questions?
Yeah, I've got a few already questions. So I noticed on the first map, mostly, that when you ran out of ammo, you switched to canister. And in my opinion, I don't think that's going to have enough of an effect than having those arty guys just move up and be extra bodies on point.
We don't really use canister, so I don't know about that. I think we just left all of the canister and went up to help infantry on point. So
Yeah, that was 13 Georgia battery. We use as much as ammo as we can. We do practice with canister shooting long range. The canister is really only effective like to kill people around 300 yards. But even then, being shield, in my experience, even again being blown by canister, it sounds like bullets whizzing by. So it sounds like there's a whole line or somebody shooting at you. So even if it doesn't affect the officer, it would affect the average soldier. Hearing that whistle by and be like, "What the frick?"
I would like to add to that comment for the 13th Georgia. I actually saw some of the pellets hit the fence right next to me as I was leading the line, and that made me go, huh, maybe they can hit me from here.
Also, another thing is CSA was very close to that point. This is just more of a comment, but a lot of those canister shots were eerily close to the CSA lines because of how close they were. That's just a comment, but
not close enough.
But yeah, we do at least for the lightning battery, we practice on the canister. We have like our own little marksmanship badge for it to practice with canister. And most of our officers, that's kind of what we primarily train on in the drill camp is with canister because it's actually super hard to use sometimes at the longer ranges. In my opinion, at least, I struggle with it. My second in command does really well with canister and he shoots really well.
Okay, I have another question about artillery. So you were talking about earlier about about the problem of lines shifting before you can get your shot off. So how come you don't just switch to artillery volleys? So have everyone aim at this one line that's been standing there forever, and then get as much damage as you can on them before they start to move. Because once they hit, because if it's on independent fire like it's been the past 2 games that we saw, you're hitting them once, and then now they're immediately going to start thinking about moving. And the second shot, they're most likely out of there at that point.
So it's really hard to correct shots when everybody fires at the same time because you won't know which cannon fired which shot. So we try to correct them, and if they can get a second shot, it'll most likely be on target.
Okay. I just don't believe that you can get a second shot off very quickly unless you're having to sacrifice having a bunch of guys on artillery.
Well, it depends on the battery. If you have a bunch of recruits, maybe like guys are new, and then even in a pub match, maybe it is difficult to get that second shot. But if you have veterans, like Hood's division, I was seeing they were firing off fairly quickly, and I mean it was on par with some of the best batteries I've seen in the game.
It felt like that on the field too, from where
Yeah,
I
so
was. That they were pretty close. They weren't
yeah,
an exact volley, but they were, 1 and then 2 pretty quick in succession.
yeah. So if you have a well-oiled like arty crew of 3 guys, you could get a shot almost every 45 seconds. Like that's ideal, in my opinion. Is 45 seconds to a minute, get a shot off, and that may be time to move. But in that time that you're loading and moving and aiming, the officer's giving you corrections to move it over, and you can adjust and wait for them to stop and get that second shot.
I think the average time for the cannon that I was on for firing and then being ready to fire again was like 30 seconds. So pretty quick.
It can be intense sometimes on artillery, even though we're far away from the battle. Getting those shots off could really change the course of a battle.
All right.
You have any
One more question about
Yeah.
artillery.
Go ahead.
How much I got one more. Yeah. How much coordination do you do with the infantry as far as timing? Like the infantry is going to charge, and then you're going to hit the Union right before your friendlies get there.
For me, when I'm leading artillery, I usually like being an officer chat because those binoculars from a bird's eye view can see, like how you guys, when you guys are watching in a spectator, you can see a lot more than what the ground officers are seeing. And with that, I'll be like, okay, you got a unit moving this way, moving that way, and the corresponding regiments would know what's going on, see what's kind of in front of them. But with kind of doing charges, usually you try to do a big hit before a big charge. I try to do that actually on the second map on the left with my own battery, coordinating with them, saying, okay, you're going to smack that left, and then we're going to start charging down to at least get that going. It wasn't very successful, in my opinion, on that one charge, but it was at least trying to do something to switch it up.
So on the second map, when I think CSA went into final push, they were gonna charge on the right side, I believe, and so all 4 of the cannons on Manly's battery fired just before they charged them, and so I'm pretty sure that probably weakened them quite a bit.
All right. You have any questions, Vastol?
Unfortunately, my main question would have been for the 10th US, and they don't have a representative here at the moment, which is a shame. Well, the question would have been to do with the first round about them, fanning out constantly beyond the snake fence on that right side for the Union and spreading out that long, thin line of skirmishing. I was mainly going to ask what that was about and what was their goal with that. I guess I do have a question for 13th, and that would be, with the first round and all your pushes to the left, were you aware that you were almost always outnumbered during your charges?
Yeah. So we were almost always outnumbered, but yeah, we were kind of doing it more for the big picture. So we were kind of coordinating that with the other regiments. So as we went left and before we charged, I would tell the other officers, "Hey, 13th is charging now," and then that way they would know that there is less Yankees on point and that the right side is weaker. And then
Mm-hmm.
Hoods were coordinating with us, so like even if we got wiped, which did happen a couple of times, Hoods would then manage to take the point and cap the point because the Yankees, Yankees had 2 regiments fighting us rather than fighting the 3 regiments that were on point.
Yes.
So it was more for the bigger picture, and I feel like in all the engagements we at least evened the balance. Even if the 13th got wiped, we at least took a regiment with us, kind of every time. So like, even if we died, it was kind of a fair trade, which on a map where you're attacking is not a bad thing. But yeah, it was more for the bigger picture, and we're very confident in melee. My guys are very very confident in melee, so even if we're outnumbered, it's not like a necessarily an intimidation to us. And I feel like all in all, it went okay. The first match, generally, I was very confident in the win. I was very very confident in the win. And I feel like the whole CSA, once the Yankees went to breaking, the whole CSA just got a little bit too relaxed. Everyone was kind of just like, "Oh, this is in the bag," and everyone just kind of started relaxing, doing their own thing, not really caring. Everyone was just so confident in the win, and that might have been one of the contributions that cost us the match, I guess.
All right. One thing I would notice though is that I would say you said you're talking about the big picture and that you're possibly going equal with all of those trades. I would disagree and say that perhaps you were negatively traded every melee you got into due to the fact that whenever your guys drop below 6, they're now all in skirmishing. Meanwhile, the people that you're fighting in melee still have quite a lot of guys, and a few of the people that you're still killing are still in formation. And tickets wise, you end up trading negatively because you're having guys now cost 3 tickets apiece rather than 1.
Yeah, I get that. I'll have to watch the video back again. I guess from my perspective on the ground, it looked like we're killing a lot of Yankees with every melee that we got into.
Mhm.
Maybe we didn't. I'll have to watch the video
I'd
back.
recommend doing that. You can see from some of your charges that you have guys that. One thing I've noticed is that people, whenever they charge and the charge fails, they want to run away. You don't want to do that. You want to get in there and stab, 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 and die quickly. Because if you don't die quickly, then you die even worse out of line. And there's a few times where your guys, started walking away, but then came back and died out of line.
Yeah, I guess I'll have to watch the video. From my perspective, even if worst case scenario we got a couple of out of the line tickets, if it meant pulling the Yankees off point and allowing the CSA to cap, in the grand scheme of things, I guess it was worth it from my perspective. But yeah, I'll definitely watch the video back.
I wonder if the CSA would have won the first round because towards the end, when it was breaking, 13th Georgia went on the far Union right, far CSA left, and pulled the whole 10th US off. I wondered if the rest of the CSA team charged when 13th was engaging the 10th, if CSA would have won, but we'll never know. So, anyone have any more comments for anybody before we call it off for the night?
Well played from everybody tonight. Those were 2 of the most fun matches I've had in a long time.
Yes.
That was a lot of
GG's.
fun. Both
GG's,
rounds,
everybody.
guys. Well played.
Very close.
Yeah,
all my
GG guys.
all my guys had a blast with that. That was super fun.
Oh, everybody in the 51st was just ecstatic about the entire game.
Yeah, we had a lot of new guys in our line tonight, so I'm glad that some of the people that we had it where it was their first ever event, they got 2 such fun games.
Excellent. Hell yeah. That's excellent. All right, I gotta go. See you guys.
Yeah. With that being said, please like, comment, share, subscribe. For more, join our Discord, especially if you want to be a frontline reporter or announcer. Would be glad to have you on. Everyone that participated in this postgame interview will have a social media link in the description if they want one there. On top of that, all the regiments that participated will also have a social media link to join their Discord. Join them. Lots of fun. Best time of my life. And yeah, with that being said, we'll see you guys in the next one. Have a good night, and cue the music.